what's up? Welcome to the Shift Society podcast. Man, I'm so excited to be here. We have an amazing topic here today for you because I think that it is imperative that we talk about stress and what stress means, what it means to your life, and what just having a conversation. To be honest with you, I mean, when I was thinking about just this idea of stress, I could only help but to think of everyone is going through the same thing. Like, you ever been so stressed that you snap at your kids for just breathing too loud? like, or your partner, if you have a partner, ask a simple question and suddenly you're ready to start, a big huge argument over a simple question, over something so simple. And you think to yourself, okay, I was tripping. Something about me was off. Why was I responding that way? True story. I recently caught myself getting on my four-year-old major about something that was so minuscule that it made me question, was I a good dad? Like, was I actually doing a good job? Like, why would I yell at him or get on his butt about, something that wasn't even a big deal? He's 4 years old. So I need to be able to harness these emotions a little bit better. And it's got me thinking about stress, man. And it had to be about that. And so today is not about me acting like I am an expert. It's about really getting honest about what stress does to our real lives, our relationships, our parenting, our money, and everything in between. And when we talk about like even just relationships when it comes to stress, like stress, y'all know this, stress will turn a tiny disagreement into huge blowups. Like when I'm stressed, even the question of, babe, what are we doing for dinner? Man, that feels like an accusation. It feels as if I was supposed to know what we having for dinner. Why haven't you thought about dinner, Chris? Chris, do you care enough about me to think about dinner? Don't you know that we have to eat healthy foods? No, Chris, we can't go out. She may not have said any of that, but that's what I heard because maybe I'm trying to focus on something else. And so I lean into the parts that haven't been said, but I believe you're trying to say because I'm stressed. And you guys know this. I mean, trust me, I don't think I'm alone in that. Right? Stress tends to do this thing where it makes us so irritable and sensitive, and it builds distance and creates these arguments. And it's not you. It's not. I mean, it doesn't feel like me. It doesn't feel like me when I'm being irritable. It doesn't feel like me when I'm getting distant. It feels as if I want to get back to being myself. Like I want to get back to feeling closer to my happiness. And it feels like when I'm stressed or I'm irritable, it just feels as if I'm struggling to get back to that person. And I hate that feeling. Like, yes, I'm trying to build a big profitable business, or I'm trying to raise competent, amazing, wonderful, loving children. I'm trying to love my spouse as much as I possibly can and show her the best parts of life, while also sharing in all these experiences with her. But I will tell you, stress will get in the way of all of that if it's not managed well. Like when we talk about even just the dinner stuff, I'll give you one for this morning. So this morning, it felt as if Jazz was a bit stressed. Now, she could have been a little tired. The kids had to get their lunches packed, and I had to speak this morning. And it just felt as if she was a little bit stressed and irritable. Now, that perception caused me to fall back a little bit because I didn't want to get into the tornado of her emotions. But the truth is that she probably needed me to get in the way of her emotions. Maybe it was something I could have done more of. And stress will make you fight the people you should be fighting for. Stress causes you to think they're fighting you when you should be attacking the stress. Stress makes you fight the people you should be fighting for. So you end up fighting them versus what they're actually fighting themselves. So we internalize it. We make it about us because we naturally think, oh, you're mad at me. You haven't said anything, but I believe because I'm in your atmosphere, it gotta be about me. Yeah, it's gotta be about me. And I don't like that feeling. I like to feel close to my wife. I like to feel as if we're on the same page. I like to, know that she's not upset with me. And stress will cause you to create stories. Stress causes us to create stories that aren't always in alignment with the truth. You know what's crazy? Finding out that like the thing you thought was a big deal wasn't even about you. Like this, it wasn't even about you. You made that up in your own head that it was about you. And that's a trippy thing to deal with. And I experience this with the kids. Like when you're stressed, physically you're present, but emotionally you're miles away. And you can bring in your stress into your kids and they will wonder, are you here, Dad? Dad, are you here? Are you present? Are you with me? Like, are you actually here? Like, are we cool? Like, why are you a little bit irritable? Dad, all I asked you to do was to go outside and throw the football. Dad, I just need some help with this. And here you are, you've brought in your stress from a phone call, a business deal that didn't go the way you thought. Something just happened and it wasn't the way you thought it should be. And here it is, you've brought that stress to them. Not cool. Not cool. And Caleb tried showing me some stuff on like YouTube one day, right? And honestly, I wasn't even watching. Stress had me thinking about bills and, a meeting I needed to have or emails, like everything but him. And that stings as a parent. That's the thing as a parent that makes you like take a step back and wonder, what am I doing all this for? What am I so like my kid is sitting right in front of me wanting me to watch something he thinks is important to him. But I'm thinking about somebody who's not thinking about me. I'm thinking about money that will be there when I get to it. I'm thinking about a phone call that's already over with. I'm thinking about all these things except the person that's sitting in front of me. And when you're off because the kids feel your energy. When they start sensing that something's wrong with you, something's wrong with you. When the kids start sensing that something is wrong with you, something is wrong with you. Because as a parent, we naturally try to hide that stress from them most often, right? We do. We try to hide it. We don't want them to feel that stress because it's adult stuff. It's stuff they're dealing with. So you don't need them to know. You don't want to bring that. I don't need to elevate my kids' stress levels when they don't have the skills to actually handle it or the ability to change anything. So I try my best to keep it behind closed doors. I pass it off to Jazz. I pray about it. I do the stuff that I can do to manage it. And if I pass it to them, all I'm doing is making them sick. And I remember growing up feeling the stress of my mom. I remember feeling that stress. And I internalized that dialogue of her being stressed into, I see you being stressed, Mom. So therefore, I don't want to add more stress to your plate. I'm your oldest. I'm your most responsible. Mom, I see you being stressed. I am not going to add more stress to your plate. So I'm going to play a little smaller so that you don't have to worry about me. Like I'm going to learn to take care of me a little bit more so that you don't have to worry about me. Mom, I'll go to work. I started working at 14. I worked at 14 years old because I didn't want her to have to worry about me and the things that I wanted at that age. I wanted some money, but she's already thinking about money and paying the rent and the bills. So therefore, I'm going to go to work in the summer if I can do that. I'm going to work at the grocery store at 15 because I can do that. And that caused me later to then think in my relationship, if Jazz is stressed, I will then play smaller so that whatever I do need, I can deal with my needs in the background. So as a parent, you don't think that your stress is trickling down, but suddenly your 8-year-old, your 11-year-old is starting to feel responsible for making you feel better. And you don't even know where it came from. Suddenly, like they're doing things like they're trying to clean up for you and they're doing little things because they're sensing she needs to feel better. And now You take that as them being kind, but really they're starting to show you, I'm responsible for mommy feeling better. I'm responsible for dad not yelling at us. That's my fault. That's my fault. 8 years old, 11 years old. And you internalize that. And then you grow up being a people pleaser, possibly. And that's where a lot of people pleasing comes from, is your childhood wounds. The stories that you weren't able to decipher accurately, or you didn't have the outlet to be able to actually get to do something with those stories. And so you made up solutions. Kids, as a kid, you deserve the very best of your parents, but stress leaves us giving them the leftovers from our life. When we have too much stress, we can't even give our kids the best. We give them whatever we got left. And so sometimes stress is not about the kids, not about your partner. Sometimes it's simply like about money. And I know for a fact in 2025, money is on everybody's mind. Whether you're uber rich, you're probably trying to make more of it, which that's a whole nother conversation. Or maybe you're very poor and you haven't found a way at all, probably for a lot of years, to figure out how to make more money. And sometimes it's not about making money, it's the mindset around making money. You know, when you're really poor, it's outside of just earning money. It's something else. It's something else to that story. But for those in the middle of America who are making a living, able to support themselves, but bills are still tight, I know that stress leads to some bad decision making, impulsive decision making. I call it stress spending. Like 1 minute I'm overwhelmed, the next minute Amazon packages are at my front door, and like I don't need to start like suddenly here comes all these packages, and it's like, man, where is, because I'm stress spending. I am spending in order to gain happiness. I'm spending for the dopamine hit. I'm spending so that I can feel better. When I see those Amazon packages come up, I get to open stuff like it's Christmas. I'm an adult with Christmas gifts in brown packages from Santa Bezos. Forget Santa Claus. I tell my kids all the time, I'm Santa Claus, not you. Not you, Santa, whoever you are. All right. Stress clouds financial clarity. It does. Like stress does truly cloud my ability to see the vision for my life and what I need to do to make money. Because here's why. Have you ever been so overwhelmed that looking at your bank account feels like a creepy entrance into like a murder scene? Like if you opened it up, you're completely terrified of what that number might be, because maybe you've been spending money, you've been hanging out, you've been kicking it, having a good time. And it's like, I know if I look in here, I'm going to see that I'm a week short before I get paid. I know that if I look in here, I might be negative. I know that if I look in here, it's not going to be good. And whatever I did spend the money on probably wasn't worth this feeling that I have right now. That feeling of lack, that feeling of regret that I have. Like personal moment, I will tell you, last year, every time a big check came in, I don't care if it was, a few $1,000s, if it was $10,000, $20,000, for our business. Every time a big check came in, instead of celebrating, our first thought was always anxiety. Constantly. It was. I don't care if, when that money came in, I could have bought a lot of things. I probably needed, I could have bought some more clothes for myself. I could have, bought some different furniture or bought some for the kids. But instantly, my first thought was anxiety. Thinking about what bill I had to pay first. Thinking about what responsible thing did I need. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying that stress shouldn't have entered the equation as the number one thing. Because simply the reason that I was stressed is based off of I looked at finances as a stressful thing to deal with. Like my joy got replaced with worry and anxiety so quickly. Stress will trick you into believing money problems are permanent, not temporary, and that you're stuck in this situation, whatever it is. And even if you got $10,000, here you are, you're on the other side of the fence thinking about how you don't have 20, how whatever you got 10,000, you got 5,000, you made your $2,000, $3,000 pay, whatever it is. And you know that that should be something that calms you for a second. You're instantly thinking about all the money you don't have. You're in the scarcity mindset because you're in this permanent state of, I don't have enough. And so here's something that I've learned to do in these moments, because I got sick and tired of being in that state of mind. Like, what's the purpose of winning in business and winning in life if you're going to be stressed still? What's the purpose of that? Like, I don't want to live that life. I want to be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor. So number one, the first thing I did was I would pause and admit out loud. I would literally say out loud, yo, I am stressed right now, instead of pretending that I'm just okay. So if Jazz asks me, Chris, what's up? I'm feeling stressed right now. I'm feeling I'm not the best. I'm not my best right now. And I would say that out loud. I would need to get that out. I would need to say that out loud so I stop pretending, so that I could start being solution focused. Then number two, I would give myself some grace, and other people too, reminding myself that stress does not make me weak. It makes me human. Stress doesn't make me weak. It makes me human. You're a human being. You're going to be stressed. Why? Because you're not the only one a part of the equation of this life. Other people are also making decisions for their life. So here it is, you're at work wondering why you didn't get the promotion. It's also because someone else was going for the same job, and they were stressing out just as much as you were to get the same position you wanted. They just happened to have gotten rewarded for it. So now you're dealing with the back end of the result of not getting it, which is stressful, and now they're dealing with the stress of getting the position. Somebody set up their business selling tires and they've been praying, hoping that business comes, and you catch a flat tire. So now you're stressed about the flat tire, but now their stress has been, answered, because now here comes a new customer. You're not the only part of the equation of life. Life is constantly giving us a trade-off. So I have to give myself grace, and other people too, reminding myself that stress doesn't make me weak. It makes me human. I am not simply receiving the worst of life. I'm a part of the equation of the outcome of life. It's not just about me. And you have to stop thinking it's about you. It's not about just you. It's also the fact that you are in this world, and it's not centered around you. And so when things are going a certain way, understand that, what is life trying to teach me right now? Is there something I'm missing? Am I off place right now? Is there something? Am I too sped up right now? Are there people in my sphere of influence that I need to pay attention to? Who is bringing stress to my life? Every time I get around this person, I don't feel my strongest. I don't feel my most confident. I tend to feel, Chris, that I'm moving faster, or I'm uncertain around these people. If I go to that job, do I feel that same exact way? What is life trying to tell me? And so some stress is a signal. Let me realize that the signal is blinking, and pay attention to it. Slow down, journal, meditate, pray. What is going on the last couple of days that wasn't going on 2 weeks ago that suddenly has me stressed? All right. Step 3, I want to find a tiny action that I can take immediately. I write out that exact thing that is stressing me. The relationship is tension, kids needing attention, money worries, and I pick one thing I can do right now to get rid of it. We call this a brain drain, okay? And when we journal, we talk about the fact that getting these things off of our minds is so important. You can't hold all of the dishes of your thoughts in your head. Imagine holding 10 plates on both arms, and I'm sure a qualified servant, in a restaurant could do this. But imagine holding that for 2 weeks. You're holding these things. You're trying to balance out everything in your head and not tell anyone, because you're trying to be strong. You want to impress people. And why do you want to impress people? Because you want to be admired. for your strength. Because being strong is an admirable thing to be unless it's killing you. And so these thoughts that we have that are typically stuck in our head, they make us sick from worry, from stress, from just the weight of them. So sometimes we got to write all those things down. What are all the things that's going on in my head right now? I need a new tire. I got to pay that bill. I need to call my mom, whatever it is, right? And then you write it all down and suddenly it's out of your head and it's on paper. So now what you can do is you can fix one of those things and say, I'm going to do that today. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to knock that off later on today. And you start to knock down your list instead of keeping it up here. Okay? So I'll even do stuff emotionally and relationally. I'll send Jazz a text message and say, hey, sorry that I was snappy earlier. You know, that's my fault. I love you. And that'll shift the entire mood. Just getting that out. How about me thinking about it? How bad I feel is one thing. And that continuous replaying in my head, I don't want to replay. I press the stop button on that tape in my mind. And then I say, okay, here's what you're going to do. Call your wife, apologize, and then watch. She's going to move on. You don't fix stress by pretending it's not there. You fix it by calling it out and doing something small to interrupt it. Stress is a guest. It's not a permanent resident. So when stress stays too long, I say, stress, hey, pack up your bags of worry, pack up your bags of scarcity, pack them up. You got to go. Got to go. All right. Stress isn't a character flaw. It's truly is proof that you care deeply about your life and other people because you're thinking about it. So again, you don't have to solve all your problems at once. Like, handle what's in front of you. Write that stuff down. Get it out of your head. And you know, if this really resonates with you, understand that stress is real, but it is also a strength. And be gentle with yourself. Stress is real, but so is your strength. You are strong enough and you have the skills enough that we can continue to talk about and work on, because you don't have to deal with this alone. You can do your breathing. You can do your journaling. There's things you can do to alleviate your stress, but you have to be gentle with yourself to start. You can't do anything if you beat yourself up, if you're taking yourself down, if you're discouraging yourself, all right? We're all in this together, this life experiment. We're all going through this together. Trust me. The people you're around, that you go to work with, that you talk to, your family, everyone is experiencing something that they wish would go away. But not everyone understands why it's in their life. And I think it's important to take a second to figure out why that's the case, so that it doesn't continuously stay in your life and you can move past the stage of your life. Listen, I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Shift Society podcast. Make sure that you subscribe, share, and like, because we want to make sure that we are in your life delivering you quality content